solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you please state your full name?
I'm Jeffrey Edward Epstein, and my residence address is 6100 Red Hook Boulevard in Virgin Islands.
Do you maintain any other residences presently?
I have vacation homes in New Mexico, Palm Beach, New York, and Paris.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes.
What was the crime of which you were convicted?
Two counts. One, soliciting prostitution and procuring a minor for prostitution.
Did you in fact commit those acts?
I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
How many times have you solicited a minor for prostitution?
Same answer.
How many times have you solicited a minor for prostitution in the state of Florida?
Same answer.
Have you ever solicited a minor for prostitution in the Virgin Islands?
Same answer.
That is, you are invoking your Fifth Amendment.
Yes,
right?
Yes, Mr. Squirrel.
Have you ever solicited for prostitution in New York?
Same answer.
Have you ever solicited for prostitution in New Mexico?
Same answer.
Have you ever solicited for prostitution in Paris?
Same answer.
Have you ever solicited a minor for prostitution anywhere at any time?
Well, again, I'm going to assert my right.
Did you ever?
We're going to go through everything.
So you are terminating the deposition at this time?
We're recessing the deposition.
In one of New York City's richest neighborhoods stood a quiet 7-story mansion surrounded by wealth and mystery. At first glance, it looks exactly like what you would expect from extreme wealth, very luxurious, massive, and nothing seems scary. But the moment you start paying attention, something feels off, like you are standing right at the entrance and you reach for the door, and then you notice dozens of artificial eyes are fixed into the walls, staring at you, not in a decorative way, but in a way that makes you feel watched. Like you are not the one entering the house, the whole house is observing you. Now you step inside, and right in the center of the hall, something hangs from the ceiling. It's a sculpture of a bride, suspended mid-air by a rope, not celebratory, not in an artistic way, not in a comfortive way, but in a very disturbing manner. Like if you keep walking into the office, there is a taxidermy tiger frozen in a position with open eyes, like it is watching the whole room. Everything in this house feels like it is designed to watch. Then your eyes move to a corner on a quiet shelf, and what's placed on it was very strange. A first edition of Lolita, an infamous novel for its disturbing theme in which an adult man is obsessed with a minor girl. Now ask yourself, why would that book be displayed there, out in the open in a house like this? Now, at this point of time, the mansion does not feel like a home anymore. It feels like a stage, or maybe a house where everything is controlled. Now, picture this. People walking through these same halls, not ordinary people, but presidents, billionaires, royal figures, tech leaders, some of the most powerful individuals in the world. They sat there, they talked there, they built relationships there. But here's where it gets darker. Because according to multiple testimonies, including people who were inside this house, there may have been hidden cameras, not just in obvious places, but in the most private areas like in bedrooms, bathrooms, where no one wants themselves to be watched. One accuser described rooms where live feeds could be monitored, screens, cameras in multiple angles, constant surveillance. Now think about that for a second. If that's true, then this house wasn't just a residence. It was a place where moments could be captured privately and secretly. And suddenly everything starts to feel different. The eyes at the entrance, the positioning of objects, it no longer feels random. It feels intentional. So now the question arises in our mind is, all these things aren't just about what the house looked like, or it is about what it was used for. Because if powerful people were coming here, and if private moments were being recorded, then this mansion wasn't just a symbol of wealth. It can be a tool. And what happened inside these walls might be the key to understanding that how one man built connections at the highest level of global power and stayed protected for so long. And that man was Jeffrey Epstein. The property at 9 East 71st Street wasn't just expensive. It was one of the largest private homes in Manhattan. Nearly 40 rooms, multi level architecture designed for privacy and exclusivity. But according to Maria Farmer, one of the earliest whistleblowers, there was something else inside that house. A media room, a room filled with monitors, screens showing live feeds from cameras placed throughout the mansion. She described it as toilet bed, toilet bed, toilet bed. That means every corner of personal life was visible there. Later investigations added more pieces. Hidden cameras were reportedly found in Epstein's Florida residence, and in 2019, FBI raids recovered CDs locked inside safes inside Epstein's island. This led to a major theory: was Epstein collecting compromising material, and if yes, was it for control? No official conclusion was confirmed a global blackmail system, but the pattern has raised serious suspicion about investigators and the public. Jeffrey Epstein's story breaks logic. College dropout, no formal financial credentials, brief career as a school teacher. He was a college dropout, but still he became a school teacher and he got a job as a school teacher. And after all this, he became a financier for billionaires also. Leslie Wexner, founder of L Brands, he did not just trust Epstein, he gave him power of attorney that Epstein could legally control his wealth. Even more shocking thing is the Manhattan mansion, worth millions, and that was transferred to Epstein for only $0. Some years later, Wexner claimed financial misuses, but for years before that, there was nothing unusual with him. Epstein's influence wasn't just limited to money, it extended into global power circles. The names that are related in various records, footage, and reports include Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, and many more. But before we go further, there is a line we need to be very careful not to cross. Because when you look at names in a case like this, it is very easy to jump to conclusions, and that's where most people get it wrong. There are three very different levels of connections. First one is association. This is the most basic level, like two people meet or attended the same event and were photographed together. That's it. No crime, no implication, just proximity. And in elite circles, this happens all the time. Powerful people meet hundreds, even thousands of others, so a photo or a meeting does not prove anything by itself or any wrongdoing. Second one is mention. This goes one step deeper. This is when someone's name appears in emails, flight logs, contact lists, calendars, and many more. Now, this tells us there was some form of interaction. Maybe they communicated, they planned a meeting, they were in the same place. But again, this still does not prove wrongdoing. Third one is allegation. This is the most serious point. These are claims made by victims, witnesses, and legal complaints. This can include accusation of serious crimes. But an allegation is not the same as proven guilt. Some allegations are tested in court, some are settled, some remain unproven. And this is where things become uncomfortable. Because in a case this big, with so many powerful names, you would expect widespread legal consequences. But in reality, very few cases reached that stage, very few resulted in charges, and even fewer led to punishment. So, whenever you hear names connected to Epstein or Epstein file or any case related to Epstein, you have to ask a question with yourself: are they associated, are they mentioned, or are there actual allegations? Because confusing these three can completely distort the truth. Out of all the powerful names linked to Epstein, one case stood out because it did not stay in rumors, it reached the courts. Prince Andrew, a member of the British royal family, he was accused by Virginia Giuffre, one of the Epstein's most well known accusers. Virginia claimed that she was trafficked by Epstein and forced to have sexual encounters with powerful men, including Prince Andrew. She stated that this happened when she was 17 years old. Prince Andrew repeatedly denied the allegations. In interviews, he said the claims were false. He even gave a widely watched BBC interview in 2019 trying to defend himself. But instead of clearing his name, the interviewer raised more questions, and his explanations were widely criticized as unconvincing. Eventually, the case moved forward legally, but it never reached a full trial. In February 2022, the case was settled out of court. Reports stated that a significant financial settlement was paid, while the exact terms were not fully disclosed. Most importantly, this was not an admission of guilt, but it was also meant the case would not be tested in court. The impact for Prince Andrew were serious. Even without a criminal conviction, he was stripped of his royal duties, he lost his military titles and patronages, and he effectively disappeared from public royal life. Public perception shifted dramatically from a senior royal figure to one of the most controversial members of the monarchy. Over time, his role with the royal family was reduced to almost nothing. No official appearances, no public responsibilities, a complete fall from prominence. But it also helped to left behind a difficult question: if this is one of the only cases that reached this level, what about all the others? Now, Bill Gates' name also came in this case. His connection to Epstein is one of the most discussed things, not because of allegations but because of timing. By 2011, Jeffrey Epstein was already a convicted sex offender. His past was public, well known, and yet reporters later revealed that Bill Gates met Epstein multiple times after 2011, including meetings at Epstein's Manhattan house, at least one trip on Epstein's private plane reported in 2013. At that time, Gates said the meeting was about philanthropy, particularly global health initiatives, nothing else. But this raised a question: why continuing meeting someone with that type of background? According to reports, this connection also became a point of tension in Gates' personal life. His former wife, Melinda Gates, later acknowledged concerns about Epstein. There were also unverified claims found in Epstein related materials, but representatives for Gates have strongly denied them. Now, if you will think little bit, this category is fall into association plus mention that we had discussed earlier. There are confirmed meetings and documented contact, but again, no proven criminal wrongdoing connected to Gates in this case. Elon Musk's name also came in this case. Elon's name appears in a different way, not through long term association but through communication records. Documents reportedly shows that between 2012 and 2013 there were emails exchanges between Musk and Epstein. In those emails, Musk appeared to inquire about visiting Epstein's island, messages referencing what day or night will be the wildest party, interest in attending social gatherings. There was also calendar entry suggesting a possible visit, though that visit actually happened or not remains unclear. Some years later, Musk publicly criticized others over Epstein connections, but when documents were released, his own name appeared in that document. Now, this category falls into mention. Donald Trump, the president of USA, also connected to this case. The two are known to be very socially connected in the 1990s and early 20s. They attended events where they photographed together, moved in similar elite circles. At one point of time, Trump even described Epstein as someone he had known for years. But after some time, they stopped being in contact for some unclear reasons, and Trump has since distanced himself from Epstein. Now, this is where the situation becomes more serious because beyond association, there have been allegations. This includes serious accusations, but they have been denied by Trump and his representatives. And most importantly, none of this resulted in a criminal conviction in this context. Now, this category is association plus allegation. Long term social connection is documented. Allegations exist but remain unproven in court. Now, if we talk about Indian connections, there are two major names came in Epstein files. Anil Ambani and Hardeep Singh Puri. Anil Ambani documents reportedly shows emails and messages exchanged between Ambani and Epstein between 2017 and 2019. Some messages suggest requests for help connecting with US political figures, references to meetings involving individuals linked to the Trump administration. There are also records indicating a visit to Epstein's Manhattan residence in May 2019. Some interpretations of these communications suggest geopolitical discussions, but these are based on document context, not confirmed intent yet. Now, if you say this category falls in mention, documented communication exists but no allegation of criminal wrongdoing confirmed. Hardeep Singh Puri. Before becoming a minister, Puri worked in an international diplomacy. Records indicate multiple meetings with Epstein between 2015 to 2017. Emails exchanged discussing global initiatives and investment introduction facilitated through Epstein. Puri has stated that these interactions were part of his professional role at that time. This category comes in association and mention, like meetings and communications are documented, but no allegations of wrongdoing confirmed. When you step back and look at all these names, a pattern emerges, not of equal guilt but of unequal clarity. Some had brief contact, some had repeated meetings, some faced allegations, and only a very few faced real legal consequences. Which brings us back to the central question: was Epstein just well connected, or was he operating in a system where connections meant protection? Why did Epstein have such reach? Possible explanations says elite networking, financial influence, social manipulation, or something darker than this. Blackmail theory exists but remains unproven. In July 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested again. This time, the charges were serious: sex trafficking of minors. For the first time, it looked like the system was finally catching up to him. He was placed in a high security jail in New York, a place where escape should not be possible, mistakes could not happen. But then, just weeks later, everything changed. Epstein was found dead in his cell. The official conclusion was suicide, but almost immediately questions started rising. Reporters pointed to multiple security failures. Guards who were supposed to monitor him reportedly fell asleep. Quiet cell checks were not carried out properly. He had previously been on suicide watch but was taken off. And then one of the most controversial details were cameras that should have recorded the areas were either malfunctioned or didn't capture what they were supposed to. Now, combine all these things: a high profile prisoner with global connection, and suddenly the official explanation didn't convince everyone. Public doubt grew rapidly across media, countries, and political lines. Because the question was not just how he died, it was who benefits from his silence. And Epstein was not the only one. Jean-Luc Brunel, a French modeling agent, accused of supplying young girls to Epstein Island under the pretext of modeling opportunities. He was arrested, placed in custody in France, and in February 2022 he was also found dead in his prison cell. Again, official reason was suicide. Two persons both connected to the same network and both dying in custody, and once again more question than answer. Epstein's private island had another mystery. a blue and white building with a golden dome standing alone on a hill. People called it a temple, mosque, even something secretive. But Epstein himself called it a mosque. He had a strong interest in Islamic architecture and spent years collecting rare items from the Middle East, like the tiles from Moscow in Uzbekistan, and their designs were inspired by ancient Syrian buildings. Most importantly, pieces of the kiswa, the sacred cloth that covers the Kaaba in Mecca, the most holiest place of Islam. These items are highly religious, touched by millions of people during pilgrimage. Records shows these artifacts were arranged and shipped with the help of Aziza al-Ahmadi, a consultant linked to the Saudi royal court. Some shipments were even labeled for the mosque. The building's design was inspired by a 15th century Syrian structure with a dome, arches, and stripped walls. But Epstein's involvement went further. He even suggested replacing Islamic texts with his own initials, J and E. This raises a serious questions. Was this really a place of worship or just a personal project showing power and control? There is no proof it was ever used for religion. In 2017, a hurricane Maria damaged the island and the building reportedly lost parts of its golden dome. Even today, its true purpose remains unknown. By now, millions of documents have been released from Epstein files, emails, footage, flight logs, testimonies, everything. But millions more are still hidden by the government, redacted, sealed, or simply not made public. Out of this massive global scandal, with names spanning presidents, billionaires, and royalty, only one major conviction stands: Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's closest associate, convicted for her role in trafficking and abuse. She was also the girlfriend of Epstein. Now, what about the rest? This isn't just a story about a man, it's not just a crime story. It's a story about power, about influence, about the system that fail or refuse to act.